WooCommerce subscriptions is now being used to sell everything from energy food for elite athletes to designer clothing for fashionistas. It's used to sell craft beer, coffee, piano lessons, carbon credits, and nail polish. Lots of nail polish. Because any product that is consumed regularly or service that is performed repeatedly is a great candidate for selling on subscriptions. And WooCommerce is a great platform for selling subscriptions with the WooCommerce subscriptions extension. My name is Brent Shepherd, and 4 years and 2 days ago I made the first commits to the WooCommerce subscriptions codebase. I'm now one of a team of 5 engineers at Prosperous working on the code and surrounding activities. We have over 45,000 lines of code in the plugin itself and over 50,000 words of documentation to support it and make it usable. But we're not done yet. Store owners still want to do a lot of things, and we want to make it possible for them to do it. Today I'm really excited to talk about a few new things you can do with WooCommerce subscriptions. But before I get to that, I want to actually give a brief introduction to subscriptions for anyone new to the extension. Subscriptions adds 2 fundamental elements to your WooCommerce store, a subscription product and a subscription. Subscription products are just like normal WooCommerce products. They can be downloadable, physical or virtual. And the only difference is that they'll have a set of billing terms. So for example, they might charge $10 every month or $10 every week for a year. And then they may have other subscription attributes like a sign-up fee or free trial. Subscriptions, on the other hand, are more like a WooCommerce order, except an order is a record of a transaction in the past, whereas a subscription is an agreement about transactions in the future. Just like WooCommerce products, subscription products can be added to the cart, purchased via checkout, and then that will create an order, and a subscription will be created that's linked to that order. After a period of time, a renewal order will then be created by the subscription. A renewal order is just like a normal WooCommerce order, only it's created by the subscription instead of by the cart. And that's the emoji guide to 45,000 lines of code with 7 emoji in 30 seconds. But the devil is in the details. And there's all sorts of details to subscriptions and subtle behaviors that make it useful for many of the different product categories I talked about at the start. For example, if you're selling a cell phone and alongside a data subscription, you only actually want to charge shipping on the initial order. So subscriptions offers a one-time shipping feature. But I'm not going to talk about any of that today. Instead, I'm actually going to talk about new things. First, with subscriptions 2.1, which will be entering beta in the next month or 2. And then with some new things we're doing around the periphery of the actual core software itself. Now, I showed before that after a period of time, a subscription will create an order. What I didn't show is that there's a payment usually associated with that order. Sometimes that payment will succeed, and sometimes, unfortunately, it will fail. Subscriptions at the moment doesn't provide the store owners with a lot of power on how to manage that failed payment. Instead, it sends the customer an email and lets them know, hey, the payment failed, can you log in and fix up your credit card or payment details for it? This will change in subscriptions 2.1. It will begin with providing an admin interface where store owners can manually retry a payment. But going beyond that, it will also provide a fully fledged automatic retry system. This is something I'm super excited about shipping because it's one of the most requested features we've had from store owners over the last few years. Fortunately, in that time of people asking about it, we've been able to have conversations about what requirements they have for an automatic retry system. And I think we've built something really great to handle those. The first aspect of retrying is dunning. This is the industry jargon for sending an email to customers or for communicating with customers either via email or other methods about outstanding payments. The automatic retry system will include built-in dunning for emails, which are sent on a default schedule. But the best part about the retry system is that it's completely customizable on your terms. The dunning, through to when the payments are retried, how many retry attempts are processed, whether you actually suspend the subscription or leave it active, whether you move the order to on hold or mark it as failed, is all customizable. Initially with 2.1, it'll take some custom code. We hope the custom code is fairly easy, but we have had requests from store owners about adding an administration interface so that you can tweak the retry rules over time, and we're certainly open to looking at that. The other big feature we're shipping in 2.1 is reports. It may seem a little bit funny that it's taken 4 years and 2 days, and it'll probably be 4 years and a month and a half or something by the time we release it, to actually get reports built into the extension. And WooCommerce does have some reporting you can use around subscriptions because recurring orders are actually the same as an order, so you can see your revenue. But it's really not good enough for store owners. And we had to rewrite a number of things in 2.0 to actually be able to do the reporting in 2.1. So I'm really excited to ship it now. 2.1 will include all sorts of reports to give you the most important metrics for any subscription business, from churn and customer lifetime value based on sign-ups, upgrades, cancellations and expirations of your subscriptions, as well as forecasting revenue based on the active subscriptions you have on your site and when they're planned to renew. So you can look at the revenue that should come in the next month or next year based on the current active subscriptions. And the final report we're going to provide is actually linked to the first feature we're introducing in 2.1, which is retry success or failure reports. This will allow you to A/B test different retry rules around to see which retry rules are most successful and then optimize your retry rules so that you can maximize the revenue that you get from failed payments. But the future of subscriptions isn't all going to be in the extension itself. More and more we're starting to see that the extension itself is growing quite large and also including features that aren't necessarily useful for all store owners. So we're beginning to experiment with the idea with extensions for an extension. We're calling them mini extensions even though some of them will be quite large. And the first of these is one we're launching today around gifting. Now hypothetically imagine for a moment that you want to buy this great man a Cigar of the Month Club subscription for Christmas. At the moment, you can do this using WooCommerce by putting Chris's name in as the recipient and then having him ship the box each month. But the problem is, what happens if Chris moves? He can't update his address without contacting you and asking the store owner to change the address. And what happens if, and you can't assign the subscription to Chris, because what happens if you need to change the payment method because your credit card's expiring? Gifting takes care of this by sharing the subscription between a recipient and a store owner. We've thought really generically about this problem of how to share a subscription in the hope that the extension, although called gifting, can actually be used for other use cases. A non-hypothetical example where we think we'll see it used is corporate purchasing. Brian Crosgar will be speaking next about using subscriptions in WooCommerce on his store, and a massive pain point he's had for the last year or so is having one member of a team, a purchasing officer, buy subscriptions for membership subscriptions to his news site for the entire team. This will now be possible with WooCommerce, with the WooCommerce subscriptions gifting extension. And if I didn't give it away already, we've also integrated with the really great WooCommerce memberships plugin to make sure that you can gift memberships and the recipient will actually receive the benefit of the membership rather than the purchaser receiving the access from the membership. Probably the extension I'm most excited about is something that solves a pain point that's been around for quite a while. This plugin allows you to add subscription options to non-subscription products and other things in your store. Traditionally, if you wanted to sell a subscription, because of the way I designed it 4 years ago, you had to create a subscription product. And it sounds obvious enough, but in practice, it's actually really limiting. There's a lot of different product types in WooCommerce that would be great to sell on subscription. So we're experimenting with a new extension which allows you to add those subscription options to any product type. And you can even provide discounts on those options so that you can offer a subscribe and save style approach to offer customers, for example, coffee that's sold one-off, but if they subscribe, they get a 10% discount each week or each month. And it's not just products that this extension can be used for. It can also be used to subscribe to a cart of goods. So you can set up, if you already have an existing site with 50 or 100 products, you can use this extension to offer simple options in the cart to allow a customer to subscribe to any of those goods. We've called this extension Subscribe to All the Things. It's partly talking about where it is at the moment, because you can actually go beyond subscribing to products and cart. We worked with Manos from Somewhere Warm, the developer of product bundles and a few other great WooCommerce extensions, to collaborate on making sure this extension could also work for his extensions, product bundles, composite products, mix and match products. And we aspire to having it work as a bridge between many other product types in WooCommerce. For example, bookings, where you want a customer to be able to create a recurring booking for their weekly personal training session or monthly massage. And we hope in time it will get to there. You can grab a copy of it and check it out now. They're all freely available on subscription.tips/stat. So why bother trying to make it easier to purchase subscriptions to all the things? Why try and make any product type into a subscription product type? I said at the beginning that any product that's consumed regularly or service that's performed repeatedly is a great candidate for selling on subscription. What I didn't say is, from a customer's perspective, it's also a great product to buy on subscription because it takes that minutiae of purchasing individual products that you need in your life out of the equation by fulfilling them automatically. The 21.5th thing that I've tried to squeeze into this 12 minutes, it's only a half thing because it's not actually possible yet, is something I really hope we'll see in the next 5 years, which is to fulfill all the basic requirements of life, from transport to food, clothing, and entertainment, on subscriptions, and hopefully with WooCommerce subscriptions. It may sound a little bit outrageous, but it's already actually possible if you take geography out of the equation. You can wake up to coffee beans delivered by 4barrelcoffee.com in San Francisco and enjoy that alongside muesli delivered from muesli.com.au in Australia. You can do your grooming with libertygrooming.co and their fine quality shave products. Get dressed into the latest delivery of your designer clothing from the MrCollection.com or the MsCollection.com, alongside your socks from Nick Harry in South Africa, and of course your fresh underwear from 365.com.au. You can play with your kids using the Green Kid Crafts box you had delivered for that month, or you can have them do their lessons, do their piano lessons, with the latest lessons they've received from their hdpiano.com membership. And as the day winds down, you can sit down to a meal with your family, a restaurant quality meal no doubt, that's calorie controlled, delivered from flexfoods.co in Tallahassee, Florida, while you enjoy a craft beer that was personally selected for your palate from honestbrew.co.uk. And finally, you can end the day with what else but ice cream. Yes, ice cream is even delivered on subscription from e-commerce, from saltandstraw.com in Portland. I highly recommend it. These stores are all leading what I think is the beginning of a subscription living wave, where you get the essentials of life delivered automatically rather than having to go through purchasing them one-off. I'm really excited to adopt this lifestyle so I can spend time on other things, and also to help enable it with WooCommerce subscriptions. Thank you.